Are you self-sabotaging? Are you ambivalent and conflicted about that promotion? A part of you really wants it because of the acknowledgement of your contribution, because of having more power to do things your way, because of the prestige that comes with the higher ranking position in the organizational ladder, and of course the pay raise. Who wouldn't want that? But then, on the other hand, who wants that extra hassle? Who wants to deal with difficult team members? Who wants to be between a rock and a hard place, which is the lot of any manager, especially mid-management level, which is probably where you are or desire to be, plus the longer hours. Not that you're slacking now, but still, you'd have to set an example for everybody else. That sounds very nice in theory, but in practice, it is very destructive to one's personal life. So many pros and cons. Are you sure you're settled on the pros? We'll find out. Plus, the daunting task of asking your boss for feedback, but with a twist that would surprise you. Hi, I'm the Boss Problem Buster, founder of the Pay Raise Commando. We train passed-over corporate professionals like you to get that pay raise or promotion you deserve so that you can finally kill your Monday blues and bring your inner joy back, which is the best part about my job and the goal of this channel. Kill your Monday blues and bring your inner joy back. Let's go. The number 6 do out of 8, right after being passed over for a promotion or a pay raise or both, is check your attitude. Do you really want it, the promotion? Are you self-sabotaging? Are you ambivalent about getting that promotion? Nobody can ever be ambivalent regarding a pay raise, but a promotion, that's different. Yeah, the title is nice. The higher it is on the organizational hierarchy, the most prestigious it is. It boosts your ego. It creates a bit of a power dynamics that tilts you away with everybody around you, even if implicit. Plus, it easily seeps into your out-of-work life. Getting a date as a manager is easier than an entry-level, junior, run-of-the-mill, rank-and-file employee, at least for men. So that's another pro. With this mix of pros and cons, you have to make sure you really want it. And if not, that's absolutely fine. I'll do a video about that sometime because there are so many employees who are pressured, implicitly or explicitly, by their peers, their family, their friends, or just the omnipresent culture of vertical achievement, which is supposed to be the epitome of corporate success and therefore success as a whole. As I noted, well, you might have noted that I've said supposed because it really doesn't have to be, but I'll address it sometime in the future. So if you don't really want that promotion and you're doing it just because you think you should be doing it, two things will happen. A, your ambivalence will be apparent to everybody around you. Your boss especially will know you're just going through the motions, so faking it, because people who really want a promotion, who have that fire in them, that very specific kind of drive, it really shows. And in contrast, it is very clear when somebody does not have it. B, if you happen to get that promotion you didn't really want, this can happen sometimes when the position needs to be filled urgently and there are no other compatible candidates other than you. So if you happen to get that promotion you didn't really want this way, you are going to be both miserable and an underperformer. You're just not going to be successful and you might even get fired the moment they realize you suck, or the moment they can find somebody to replace you, which they will be looking for frantically. So not a good idea, which is why you really must be honest with yourself and with your boss as to whether the promotion is something you truly desire and whether you can indeed produce results for both you and the company. There are other ways to get a pay raise. It doesn't necessarily have to be a vertical promotion. Moving on, the number 7 do, and second to last, right after being passed over for a promotion or a pay raise or both, is ask for feedback, but with a twist, which is don't expect to get a real one. Instead, your goal with this feedback is quite the reverse, as we'll explore in a moment. But first, we need to get rid of a preliminary problem, which is probably the fact that the mere suggestion of asking your boss for a feedback is probably giving you the shivers. You may be thinking, you want me to do what? Ask for feedback? And without even expecting to get a real one? So why even bother? It's not like it's fun for me going into my boss's office, asking for a one-on-one meeting in these circumstances of just being passed over by this very same boss. I so hear you. I would have said the same if I were you, but remember, I'm on your side. I have a plan. The goal of such a meeting is completely different. Hear me out. Right now, you're in a state of shock and are not sure as to where to go next, what to do next, which is why you're here on my channel to know. So, if you're like most people in this kind of inner turmoil, you would tend not to challenge your boss on his or her decision to pass you over, thinking, what is there to say? The boss has spoken loud and clear through his or her decision not to promote me. Why would I go through this yet another humiliation by asking for feedback? I got my feedback. I was tossed aside. That's all the feedback I need. Thank you very much. Again, I totally hear you. And again, I'm on your side. And you promised to hear me out. I'm not done yet. Listen, this feedback with a twist ties in perfectly to what we've talked about in part 2 of this series, about where I showed you why you should be a bad boy employee and how to do it right. Remember the paradox with the good boy and the bad boy, with the analogy to parents and kids? Well, it all comes together now. I love it when a plan comes together. If you indeed, as most people in your position would, refrain from initiating a meeting with your boss, then this lack of challenge from you to your boss means that you are condemning yourself to be relegated by him or her to be the good boy employee status, to have the good boy employee status, which is completely counterproductive to your end goal, which is never ever being passed over again, which means come next opportunity for a promotion and or pay raise, it must be in the bag, your bag. Therefore, you can't afford to be tagged in your boss's mind as a good boy employee because, as you know by now, this would mean you are doomed. You're not getting that next promotion and or pay raise because there will always be some bad boy employee asserting themselves to your boss in a consistent and unrelenting manner until they get it. And when they do, guess who gets screwed all over again? And by the way, this tagging process in your boss's mind is subconscious, which makes it even more dangerous to you. And if you're willing to let this happen after everything you've been through with this workplace snub that you got, what have we been doing here for the last 2, 3, 4 videos of this masterclass? Have you heard anything I've said? Look, it's your prerogative. I'm telling you how to win, but if you don't want it badly enough to be bothered going outside of your comfort zone by initiating a one-on-one with your boss, then maybe you should rewind and check the previous do number 6, about the potential ambivalence you may have regarding truly wanting that promotion. Do that. But for those who are still with me and who are not ambivalent, who are not bowing out and want to go for the win, I'm here for you, so let's move on. So this do number 7 out of 8 is ask for feedback but with a twist. And it's time to reveal the full twist. It's a twofold twist. A, I've already mentioned, ask for feedback but without expecting to get a real one. And here comes the big reveal, drum roll please. B, the second part of the twist is, your goal is not for your boss to give you feedback, but for you to give your boss feedback. Don't freak out. Let me explain what I mean. Your goal is to be tagged in your boss's mind, consciously or subconsciously, as a bad boy employee, thus one whom must be appeased to keep the industrial peace in the team and the department as a whole. You do that by implementing the amalgamation of everything we've covered, which, all put together, is now your superpower. Let me prove it to you. I'm building your confidence to do this. You know that, right? You have the effective mental infrastructure we've laid in the first 3 do's. Understand your boss's psychology and how it can work to your advantage. Be a bad boy employee and getting the bad boy employee mentality right. Then you have the tools for implementations. For implementation, with do number 4, express your distress, and do number 5, assert yourself to your boss and colleagues alike. If you need to brush up on any of this, no problem. Just pause now, go back to parts 1, 2, and 3 of this series. It's up here. And then come back. On top of all that, you have number 6. Do number 6 we've just covered in this video of checking your attitude regarding promotion to make sure you really want it and you're not self-sabotaging. So you can absolutely do it. You have everything you need to do this. Do number 7 of asking your boss for feedback, but with a twist. So all this iteration of your superpower was to convince you can do it. Hopefully I've managed to do it, and now I'll show you exactly how. Here is the precise sequence you need to execute as soon as possible. Step number 1, there are 13. Step into your boss's office and set up a one-on-one meeting in the very near future, as in today, tomorrow, another time this week, next week tops. Step 2, if your boss inquires as to what's the urgency and what's it about, have this come back ready to shoot out. It's in regard to you passing me over, and it's urgent for obvious reasons. Make sure to speak in a very respectful and non-combative manner. This is crucial. You are not there to burn bridges. You are there to make your stance known. There's a big difference. Note this step perfectly implements the bad boy mentality in both the what and the how. First, the what. Going in there, requesting a meeting, that's already asserting yourself. Then the addition of it's urgent for obvious reasons is pure bad boy, because you're not saying anything regarding your plans for the future, which, just between the two of us, you're not sure of yourself, but you are making it clear that you are weighing your situation post being passed over, and you're not taking it lying down. But careful, don't overdo it. Be sure to remember and implement the don'ts we've covered, the don'ts, plural, we've covered in another video of what not to do right after being passed over. This series is about what to do. From the don'ts video, there are 2, among others. Do not leave and do not threaten to leave. So that's the what. The how that perfectly implements the bad boy mentality is the respectful, non-combative manner, which should be always present when communicating with your boss. And another crucial don't from the what not to do video is don't be passive aggressive in any way, shape, or form. Okay, step number 3 in this sequence. Do your homework. Prepare yourself for the meeting as if for a performance review. The what of this step is make a case for why you deserved that promotion or pay raise you didn't get. Map your unique contribution to the relevant metrics of the department's success, which is, of course, your boss's success. And the how of this step is be concise and factual, not emotional. And by emotional, I mean no overt displays of emotions other than some natural distress, as is expected in your situation, as we've discussed before. So, no whining of any sort, please, and for sure, absolutely no crying. Step number 4 in this sequence of asking your boss for feedback, but with a twist, is update colleagues that are bound to see you going into the meeting about it ahead of time and right after. This way, you can be ahead of the story, as it is called in PR, public relations, meaning you proactively move the narrative, i.e. you are taking control over what they think is going on between you and your boss, rather than allowing the grapevine to circulate unsubstantiated rumors that may not serve you. When speaking to those colleagues, don't go into details of what you're going to say, nor afterwards of what your boss said exactly. Why? 3 reasons. A, it's none of their business. B, you don't want to commit yourself one way or the other because you don't know how it's going to play out exactly. And you don't want to make an idiot out of yourself by going in with a bang and coming out with a whimper. Unless, of course, we're talking about colleagues who are real friends, in which case, by all means, share everything you feel comfortable sharing. And C, regarding the after, when you share with your colleagues after the meeting with your boss, you need to be careful about what you share because you need to be discreet. You don't want your boss to think you're a kiss and tell kind of guy or gal. And surely you understand I'm using this idiom figuratively only. Okay, now to the meeting itself. Step 5, be sure to have the door closed for privacy and your phone turned off for obvious reasons. Step 6, start with a statement regarding how disappointed and surprised and upset you were to find out you were passed over. Take a breath and see if your boss reacts to this declaration. If so, listen carefully to fully understand what is being said so that you can answer accordingly. If not, go on to the next step. Step number 7, ask directly, why not me? Say it without stuttering, without flinching, and without fidgeting. Just look your boss straight in the eye and say it. Do not express it in a tone of blame, but of an inquiry. You really want to know why not you. Then pause and wait for the answer to come. Step 8. If the answer is, as probability suggests, meaning some bullshit, sweet-talking gibberish of how difficult it was to choose between you and the other guy or gal, and how wonderful you are, blah, blah, and or trying to divert from directly addressing the issue to blaming outside pressures from superiors, whatever it is, address it accordingly. Do not be afraid to show your boss you're not buying what he or she is saying, or that you disagree, or that you accept, all depending on what is being said. To do that, you must make sure you are truly listening. As I said previously on this series, most bosses are not true leaders, but more of an administrative bureaucrats whom are more likely than not be wimps when confronted directly, as you are now doing, though of course you are being respectful, as we've said. However, should your boss turn out to be the exception, that would be wonderful, although more difficult for you. Why? Well, wonderful because you will get the truth, and that will enable you to best course correct you'll know what is hampering you from getting that promotion and or pay raise. And difficult because, as the Jack Nicholson character in A Few Good Men said, you can't handle the truth. He does it better. Most people, indeed cannot. Make sure you can. It's the key to success. Step 9 out of 13. In either case, whether your boss gives you concrete answers or bullshit answers, state clearly and directly and concisely that you really, really want that promotion and or pay raise, and then ask, step number 10, what do I have to do to get it the next time around? If you do it sincerely and respectfully, it will give your boss an opportunity to be a guide or a mentor to you, which he or she may like. And in any case, it will set you on a positive and constructive new relationship where your boss feels respected and looked up to by you, which is a good thing to have in a delicate balance with a bad boy employee mentality. This delicate dance between the two should be the core of your relationship. Step 11, we're getting there. Ask when the next opportunity will come to pass. As I've explained in a previous video, your boss probably doesn't know and cannot commit to a specific time frame at this time, but your asking is yet another signal to him or her that you mean business. Then, to sum up, note that you are respectfully taking charge of the meeting and moving it ahead. So then, to sum up, step number 12, declare you're going to do everything your boss said in regard to how you can get that promotion and or pay raise come next time, and that you trust that you won't be passed over again. Be sure to end with an upbeat note and show you're optimistic for the future and you are going to work even harder. We've talked about this precise wording before. Step 13 and last in this meet the boss for a feedback with a twist sequence is suggest and get your boss's approval to have another meeting like this one in 3 months' time to see if and to make sure that you're on the right course at that time. No boss can disagree to that. Once you've completed this sequence of total 13 steps, it sounds like a lot, but it's very organic in nature, as you saw. I just wanted to break it down for you so that you would have a step-by-step action plan to make it easier for you. So now that you've completed the sequence, you have successfully implemented everything we've talked about, all the do's 1 through 7, but one. Number 8, the final one, which is a game changer regarding what to do after you've been passed over, and it will help us conclude this series with a bang. So in the next and final video of this series, I will show you, wait for it, how to not give a fuck and get your way, but in a good way. Imagine that. Not to give a fuck and get your way, but in a good way. But for now, as always, go back to work. I can't help you get the promotion or pay raise if you don't actually do the job.